you tell me a little bit more about what you actually mean with imagination?
Have you got 2 weeks, 2 months, and 2 years? Look, honestly, when it comes to imagination, it is something that I can't stop talking about. From when I was very, very young, all the photos is me imagining. Like, I just have no issue with imagining. And I'm always dumbfounded that people will say to me things like, I just haven't got an imagination. I'm like, shivers, you haven't got imagination? That'd be like me not having a heart. It's like living a life without an imagination. Imagination without action is merely a dream. And I have lived by this for a long time. You know, many people imagine, but it takes the action that kicks it off from being imagining, action, and it goes way more than being a dream. Now, children who develop an imaginative muscle, when in the period where the brain is open, wide, and ready for it, are getting a foundation that is going to set them up for life. You know, imagination is invisible and it's very hard to measure. But when you meet an imaginative person, it is immeasurable because their creative forces, their out of the square thinking, their intelligence is beyond what you can imagine. Now, everything from cooking a meal to what to wear to creating a garden is about your imagination. Those that don't have a rich imagination rely on what Bob said. I'll go with what Bob said. You know, like, heck, don't be Bob when you can be Boblisha. Do you know what I mean? It's like you've got your own imagination and you are in charge of it. So nobody can take control of your imagination. People can live in really hard times and they've got exactly the same experiences. But why is it people are look at it so differently? Often because of their imagination, the ability to think out of the square, the ability to actually say, well, life is like this, but I can imagine it better. You know, for children to have a rich play life is one of the most important gifts, because if they don't have a really rich life, they can escape into their imaginative world and create an alternative to the experiences that they have. So look, for me, imagination is one of the most underrated, the most non-talked about in education. And it should be the most important. You know, like, I think I would rather employ someone that has a creative, rich, vivid imagination than someone that knows how to do maths. You can use a calculator for maths, but you can't use a calculator for imagination, you know? So we're going to look at imagination deeply. And I've made a link over the years that imagination is the foundation for spirituality. Anybody that has a spiritual belief has to believe in something they cannot see. Imagination is believing in something you cannot see. So I'm really excited to get to why it is so important that children build a rich, imaginative muscle. And for me, my biggest pleasure in observing children is when they enter that slipstream of imagination.